Howdy folks, my name is Richie aka Bog Otter, and welcome to a very special Bog Vlog where I recap the events of 2014. I can't believe I'm doing another one of these videos. It feels just like yesterday that I was actually doing the 2013 recap. But anyway, in this video I want to recap everything that's gone on, the highs and the lows of 2014 for both the channel and for my personal life, and look forward into 2015 a little bit. I'm going to cover some stats, what games I played, different things that happened to me. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a Pop-Tart, and let's jump into it. And I'll give you fair warning, this video is probably going to be pretty long because words got lots of them to say. So let's start off with statistics. In 2013, we ended 2013. We started this year with 13,182 subs. And right now, at this moment, we have 26,556 subs. So we basically doubled. We gained about 13,000 something subscribers. And that's just huge. So I just want to say big thank you to everybody. That's just, before we even go over the rest of the stats, a huge thank you to all of my subscribers, all of my supporters, anyone who follows me on social media, who's encouraged me, left a like or a comment or shared my video or anything like that. Please, thank you so much. I want you to know that I do read 95% of the comments. I can't respond to all of them, but all of your messages and that's motivation for me. That's the fuel to keep me going, and I really appreciate that. So that's doubling the channel growth in a year is great. The bad news about the channel growth, I always have to be a little bit negative, right? Is like 9,500 of those 13,000 subscribers came in the first half, and I'll kind of explain like what happened throughout the year and why that is. So the second half of this year has been a lot slower in the growth, but overall an amazing year, probably the biggest year for my channel. Now we've got some other statistics here. Twitter followers, I went from 2,704 to 3,703. Couldn't quite get that 1,000 mark, right? Well, actually, we still have a day. I'm recording this on the 30th, so I still have a day to get that one more to make it 1,000 Twitter followers. Facebook, 515 at the start of the year. We're up to 941 likes on Facebook. The interesting thing about that is Facebook finally eclipsed Google+. Google Plus went from 542 to 619. For whatever reason, I had more people following me or joining my circle in Google Plus than Facebook for a long time, but now that's finally been overthrown. And let's see, the top, I always do this, the top demographic, which countries are watching me. The top 10 countries that watched me in 2014 are the United States, followed by the United Kingdom, Germany, Canada, Sweden, Australia, Netherlands, Denmark. I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 3. So 2 more. And then Poland and France round out the top 10 there. I'll give you 5 more just for funsies. We've got Norway, Romania, Belgium, Russia, and Brazil after that. So hello all around the world, everyone that's viewing the Bog Otter from different locations. That's mind-blowing to me. And a disturbing statistic, last year I boasted a 1% increase in my female viewership. I went from 89% male and 11% female in 2013 to 93% male and 7% female viewers. What's up with that? I lost some ground. I didn't lose female viewers necessarily, but the ratio definitely changed a lot. That's a 4% change. So what is up with that? All right, so there we have the main statistic. Let's talk about the top 10 videos of 2014. This is actually probably the thing I'm happiest about. Actually, I didn't do views. Before we jump into that, let's do views. Total views. Total views in 2013 was like I don't actually have the exact stat with me, and I'm too lazy to look it up. It was like 1 point something million views. It wasn't, I probably wasn't 1.5, so somewhere between like 1.2 and 1.4 million views. And that was just a huge number. 2014, I had 2.265, 2,265,000 views on my videos. I mean, that's insane. That is crazy to me. So that is a huge uptick in number of views for a single year. And probably the thing that I'm most excited about the channel was the fact that the top 10 videos there wasn't like this gigantic discrepancy. Like last year, I had one video that was like 250,000 views, and then the next biggest view count was in the 20,000. So it was just like a huge drop off. It was basically a one-hit wonder, and then the rest were like meh. This year there was a much more gradual descending number. So the top video of the year, which is still crazy. I still don't understand how some videos take off and some don't. You know, there's a whole bunch of things that make that happen. But I did a live stream show for Massively during the winter beta, and I basically leveled up a stalker from level 1 to 4, and I didn't edit it at all. I just put the raw footage from the stream right on the YouTube channel, which I tend to not do. I tend to edit it, cut out the boring parts and stuff. In fact, this video is so raw that there was like a 5 or 6 minute like dead air in the beginning of the video where I just put an annotation up and said skip to the start of the stream. I mean, that's how, you know, lazy this put up was. 109,000 views on that video in 2014. It's like, what? So that's the most viral video I had this year. That's huge, and that was great. That was a wild star. So the next highest was Hearthstone Deck Guide Starter Mage. Basically, it's a Hearthstone deck built with only the basic cards that you get when you unlock level 10 on the class. In fact, most of the top 10 is filled up with these basic deck guides. Apparently, that was a very good idea to do. I did it during the beta test where not a lot of people were still in Hearthstone, and they continually, month to month, have done well. So the Mage is actually a video I did in 2013. This was done in December 2013, so it's not even a video I put up in 2014. Some of the other ones I did in January. But 81,381 views in 2014 on that video. The next one is the starter deck for Druid, which is 51,000 views. The next one is Wildstar character creation for the Orin. For some reason that race was the most popular. 49,000 views on that one. And then we've got the Hearthstone starter Shaman. 42,000 views. Hearthstone Starter Rogue, 42,000 views. Hearthstone Starter Warrior, 40,000 views. Hearthstone Starter Paladin, 38,000 views. Wildstar character creation for the Mordesh, 35,000 views. And then rounding out the top 10 is top 5 reasons to be excited about Wildstar, 32,000 views on that. All right, so interesting. Notice what game isn't in the top 10. We don't have any Guild Wars 2 videos in the top 10, which is kind of sad. I mean, that's what my channel is mostly known for, right? Guild Wars 2 videos. That's how it was established, doing Tyria Talk and stuff. And if you look back, there are a lot of Guild Wars 2 videos that I did this year. But a lot of them happened in the second half of the year. And I'll kind of go into that when I talk about, like, start recapping the entire year. So those are the top 10 videos. Wildstar and Hearthstone leading the charge. And, yeah, pretty interesting stuff. So let's talk about how the year started off. I started off with a kind of a quiet goal. I didn't announce this, I don't think, because I just wanted to kind of see how it would work out. What was happening was there was a gap in Guild Wars 2 stuff, right? They took a winter break before they led up to the finality with Scarlet being defeated and everything like that. They took a break and they didn't put out any patches for a long while. Or a long while for ArenaNet, I should say, because for an MMO, the amount of updates that Guild Wars 2 puts out, it's pretty significant. So they took a break, and to fill that gap, I actually got access to the Wildstar beta, and I was allowed to stream and post videos. I was one of the few people that Carbine allowed to do that, so I'm very grateful for that, because that actually helped quite a bit with the channel growth. So I had a lot of content to kind of put up with that. I was streaming a lot, and I just had videos, footage of the beta to put up. And also Hearthstone, I just fell in love with it immediately as soon as I got into the beta. And I just started doing some deck guides, some tutorial, like I called them basic training guides to help new players get into the game. And that game really has taken off this year. And so I had a ton of content, even though that Guild Wars 2 wasn't doing much. So my secret goal was to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to put out a video every day. And I'm going to see how long I can do that for. So I started that, I think, pretty much like on the 2nd or 3rd of January. I said, you know what, even on the weekends, I'm going to try to put something out. Now, they're not going to all be necessarily the most highly edited masterpieces, carefully thought out, planned, and scripted with lots of cool effects on the screen. But you know what, I'm going to play these games a lot. I'm going to stream, and I'm just going to cut up some fun things and just put stuff out every day. Let's see, let's see what sticks, see what works, see what doesn't work. And I think I was able to put out a video every day 7 days a week until like March. I think I went from January to March with doing that. And there was an immediate noticeable effect. Now, it wasn't just the fact that I was putting out quantity of videos that led to a growth. It was also that I was covering Hearthstone and WildStar, which were really popular at the time, right? There was a lot of buzz going on with both these games. They were both in beta. And the channel just, I mean, it was immediately apparent. There was a big growth. I was getting, before January, I was probably getting 400 or 500 new subscribers a month. I was immediately getting 1,000, then 1,500, up to, I think some months I was getting 2,000 subscribers a month. And it had a great impact. So I was gonna continue to try to produce that much content as long as I could. So that's kind of how I started out the year. In fact, the videos every day thing, I actually did a tally just before I started recording. I wanted to see how many videos I did this year. So if I did a video every day, that would be 365. I managed to do 270 new videos. I mentioned that in March, I didn't quite, by the end of March, I didn't hit every single day. And I continued to post very frequently in April, May, and I think even part of June. But then when my kids were home over the summer, and then some things in my personal life happened in September, which I'll go a little bit more into a little bit later, the second half of the year I was not able to keep up that pace. But 270 new videos on the channel in this year. Okay, so what happened in February? This was a bit of bad news. Right after I started a new video for Massively, I was working really hard on a show called the Massively Rewind, and it was like a 2 to 3 person effort most weeks to get this show. It was kind of like a funny satire news type show for MMOs. It was basically recapping the best news on the Massively website each week and trying to be funny about it. And you know, there was some scripting involved, but some improv as well. I think I did 7 or 8 episodes of that. It was a huge undertaking. They were hit and miss. Some people loved them, some people hated them. But right after I started like putting all that together, and I'm doing it for a few months, I got laid off at Massively. Now, this is not news to people that have been following the channel closely, but I did get laid off for budgetary reasons in February. And that was sad because I still miss the people that I was working with, you know, and it's been almost a year now, but there was a lot of people that I was, communicating with on a fairly regular basis that now, I'll send a message or two every once in a while on Twitter, but it's sad when people float in and out of your life like that. And so that stunk. I was working for Massively for 2 years and streaming every week for them, and it was finally getting to the point where I was not only streaming, but I was contributing videos and articles on a regular basis. So it was sad in 2014 to see my Massively family go bye-bye. So one of the impacts of that was I was making less money. And so I tried to supplement my income by starting a Patreon campaign. And Patreon's becoming more and more popular. I see more and more YouTubers going to it and different types of content creators. Patreon has been an interesting ride. It's been overly overall, it's successful. I've managed to give out some cool rewards and increase my, or actually, I didn't quite ever get to a point where it was covering the loss of income of Massively. So it was never successful enough to, get me the income back that I lost from Massively. But still, I was getting something I wasn't getting before. So it's hard to complain about that. And one of the things I'll talk about Patreon maybe a little bit later. There's a link in the description below if you have no idea what Patreon is, but it's basically a way for viewers of content creators to kind of support the continuing work of that content creator. And there's ways that I can therefore reward you. You get access to a special messaging place where you can kind of take part in different conversations and stuff like that. But I just want to say overall, thank you to everyone who has pledged to me on Patreon at one point or another. I have a couple people that have been huge supporters. I got to mention Kim Duel and Top Hats and Champagne and my friend Michał from Poland. You guys are so awesome. You're the staunchest supporters of my Patreon efforts, and I'm just floored by your generosity. So thank you very much, truly. All right, so let's talk about what else happened in 2014. I went to PAX East. I went to PAX East 2014, and I had a blast. I have a whole video dedicated to how awesome it was. It was a great time because I was a WildStar content creator, right? I was doing the Nexus talk, and this game was just about to launch, so the buzz for it was crazy. So it was the perfect time to go to a convention where the devs were going to be there. They had some huge announcements they were going to put up. We were seeing war plots for the first time, and just like a lot of people from the community showed up. I met, Mike Joseph Arrowwolf, I met Zap Robo, I met just a bunch of people in the WildStar community. And it was fun just hanging out for a few nights and doing that. I got to interview Jeremy Gaffney. I got to, who was the president of Carbine. I got to talk to a lot of the devs there. I met David Bass and Tony Ray and Stefan Frost and Joe Pipora and Chad Moore. You guys were just, it was really, I felt very welcomed, and it was a great time checking out some games there, and I got to meet some of my favorite people at ArenaNet. I got to meet Colin Johansson finally. I got to see John Peters for a second time. I got to get a preview of some of their April 2014 feature pack there, and I actually got to go out to dinner with Milad Sadat and some of the other people at ArenaNet, and Colin and John as well. So overall just a mind-blowing, awesome PAX East experience, and I will cherish them forever. I also got to meet Mike B, who I worked with at Game Breaker and worked for at ZAM. He was my boss for over a year and a half. So I got to meet him for the first time and do a Nexus Talk live from the show floor. I never did one of those before. That was very nerve-wracking. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. And that's basically, I had a great time doing that. I really like going to conventions. They make me very nervous, like leading up to it, but I always have a blast. And yeah, so that was PAX East. There's a whole video on that if you want to check that out on the channel. So I started also in the spring time. I started a new type of video for Guild Wars 2. All right, so Guild Wars 2, it was tough in the beginning of the year. They had like the season conclusion, right, with all the Scarlet, and then they took a break till April where they put out a feature pack, and then they took another break till the summer, and where they finally started up season 2 again. And it was difficult to figure out like what I wanted to continue doing Guild Wars 2 stuff. I was still playing it a lot, but what was I going to do? So that's when I had the idea to start up guild mission videos. I was doing guild missions every single week with my guild pretty much since guild missions were implemented. So it's been a year and a half of doing them at least. And I decided one day to ask the guild, I'm like, do you mind if I record one of these and see if it's like interesting at all? So I started to cut them together, just highlight the funny things that happened during it, because our conversations get goofy and wacky, as I'm sure a lot of other people's do. And so I cut it together and I started putting them up on the channel. And actually, a couple nights ago, I went back and I just started rewatching them. I binged rewatched my own videos. I know, how lame is that? But I found them still so funny, like some of the things that were said, and it was interesting to see how at first it was just a rough cut of just whatever, and now there's kind of like a structure to it. There's like an intro that we do, and we do the guild rush, and it's a contest now, and the person who loses the guild rush has to make a funny noise, which is kind of embarrassing because they know I'm going to put it on the internet, and a lot of times I lose and have to do the stupid noise anyway. But there's more structure to it, and it's interesting. I've consistently done these guild mission videos pretty much every week since I started. I think there's 30 to 40 of those videos up there now. And the people who watch them and comment seem to really love them. Every time I post them, people say that this made their day, or they laughed hilariously at them. I wish it appealed to more of a mass audience. I think if you haven't watched the Guild Missions videos, give a couple of them a try. There's an entire playlist. There's some running jokes that you can pick up on. If you watch from episode to episode, you see some recurring jokes, and you kind of can get into the personalities of the different people that are in the guild. I think it's fun content. I just don't know how fun it is for people to watch that are not in the guild per se. But give them a try if you've never given them a try. You don't need to know much about Guild Wars 2, even if you don't play. It's really just us talking and saying stupid stuff. So that was one of the big Guild Wars innovations that I came up with this year, and actually stuck to. I throw some things against the wall that slide off a lot, and they just get swept under the rug and never to be heard of again, but that's one that kind of has stuck. So what else? I played a lot of games with Aurora Peachy this year. We started to stream together. We did a couple of Guild Wars 2 live streams. We leveled alts together, and Clouded Chimera, you made the best theme song ever with leveling alts. It's always more fun with friends. So yeah, we started, she joined my Guild Wars guild. we started hanging out, and we became friends, and we're both content creators. We both have YouTube channels, so it just made sense to start helping each other out. And, you know, it's more fun to kind of live stream with somebody else. There's more funny things that can kind of happen based on interactions like that. So we started doing that. Then we started to do some, you know, Let's Plays of some of the Guild Wars 2 story. We played WildStar a little bit together. We did a little bit of collaborations. I got super busy the second half of the year and was not able to kind of produce as much content. Again, I'll go over that a little bit later, but I still plan to do more things, more content with Aurora Peachy. So in fact, spoiler alert, we may actually do the Living Story Season 2 finale together. Maybe, possibly, spoiler alert. Yeah, let's see, that was really fun. Then WildStar launched. Let's talk about the WildStar launch. So leading up till May, right through May, WildStar was still in beta, and I was doing a ton of content on that. And I knew, just like Guild Wars 2, leading up to the launch of the game, you're gonna get a ton of traffic in, and you know, just put out show people as much as you can about the game. I was doing ship hand missions and trying to do some of the dungeon bosses, and just leveling up different classes and showing off add-ons and different things like that. And then WildStar launched. And just like Guild Wars 2, like, it's immediate. As soon as the game launches, the views just go all the way down. They're like, nobody cares anymore. Unless you could do, like, be like world first something, or like the first person to get legendary this, or the guide to the, I mean, the videos just tank. Everyone's playing the game, nobody's watching the videos anymore, and that's basically how it goes. So immediately there was like a drop off of my views, and it was startling. And yeah, it's always hard to recover from that. And at the same time, I'm playing the game a ton, right? I'm pouring like hours and hours leveling my character and stuff like that, and it's hard to kind of continue that while you're trying to make content. And so overall, it was rough seeing the channel kind of suffer through that again. Now, the other thing that happened, and I played WildStar a lot all summer long. I think it was around early September where I finally kind of threw in the towel. For anybody who hasn't watched any of my videos explaining what kind of happened, somebody summed it up in a comment on an article. I think it was on Massively. And this is exactly what it was. WildStar was the perfect game for my 20-year-old self. And it just does not fit my life at 40. And it's so true, because it's everything I wanted it to be. Like, I was way into World of Warcraft. So that whole, like, gear progression thing, I knew, like, I'm happy that Guild Wars 2 doesn't have it. But, you know, sometimes I kind of want to experience that again, and I want to experience that raiding environment again, where you're, you know, your dedicated team and you work together on very tough content a few times a week, and I wanted all that again. And then when I was faced with the amount of time it takes, especially in WildStar, you know, they were all about hardcore, 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 we got to be hardcore. So even the attunement process was so lengthy, and I just realized that, like, 3 months after I started playing, I'm just like, I can't keep this up. I can't keep this up with my life being how it is now, with, you know, my house and my kids, and, you know, my kids are 10 and 8 now, and just lots of things going on. I just couldn't do it anymore. I love the game. I still think it's still got the best MMO combat I've ever seen, ever played up to this date. And the game's got a lot of features and a lot going for it. It's just I don't have the time to put into it right now. So that game fell off. So that was kind of sad. It was sad. I put so much work and time into following that game, and, you know, growing a community with it, and it just wasn't a game that stuck with me, you know. And what's cool about this is I hope that proves a little bit to people, because sometimes people question, like, why are you still playing Guild Wars? Oh, you probably only play Guild Wars because you make videos about Guild Wars. It's not true. If I'm not having fun in the game, I'm not gonna play it. That's basically what it is. I quit the most lucrative part of my job, which was doing the Nexus talk for Zam. Because I wasn't really playing the game anymore, and because some things happened in my personal life. But, you know, that's basically it. So I do still put out content a lot for Guild Wars 2, because I still play Guild Wars 2. Alright, so what else? So around this time in the summer, I was way into WildStar, but at the same time, there was a resurgence of Guild Wars 2. Season 2 started up. I was able to get early access to a lot of the patches, and I'm still able to do that, where they give me, the weekend before. ArenaNet allows me to jump in, check out the patch, try to make a couple of videos so that right when the patch launches, I have some content to put out. It's been very difficult to do that because a lot of these patches have been so story-driven, and people don't really want to spoil all the story as soon as the patch comes out. So it's been a little bit of a challenge figuring out what can I do with this early access, but it's still great to have it nonetheless. And also this year I got my legendary greatsword Twilight in Guild Wars 2. It only took me over 2 years of saving up stuff, but I would not have it without the generosity of some viewers who sent me donations of materials and gold. There's a whole video recapping how I made it and who donated and all that kind of stuff. But shout out to Aurora Peachy. She's the one that, on her live stream shows told people to send me stuff, so I kind of got it without having to solicit for it, which was awesome. And then let's see, another thing I got a new PC. Finally, I've been saving up, and there was a bunch of people who have donated over the past year and a half since I've been saving up for it. So thank you so much if you donated. I do have a brand new PC. The games look gorgeous in it. I can stream at super high 1080p quality at 60 frames per second and not even notice a blip. I can play everything with Guild Wars or any of the games I'm playing on max settings, and it's great. Now here's the one downside, okay? And it's not really a downside. It's just one of the things I wanted to improve with the new PC was my rendering times when I'm rendering videos. If I have like a 30-minute video, like what this probably will be, that could take a couple hours to actually render after I edit it before I can upload it. And one of the things that happened is, well, there's two things. First thing is, the rendering speed is largely bottlenecked by the software you use. All right, I'm using Sony Vegas. I'm using Sony Vegas 11, and it doesn't recognize the graphics cards that I'm using, like today's graphic cards, so I can't accelerate it with the GPU. So you're kind of limited by the software a little bit. So it doesn't go much faster than it did, despite it being a much superior PC. The second thing that happened is YouTube started allowing 60 frames per second videos to go up, and they look amazing. But 60 frames per second videos render a whole lot slower than 30 frames per second videos. So I don't think I actually sped up my rendering time at all. In fact, it could be actually slower now. But hopefully the video quality is better on them, and I guess that's what matters most. So yeah, so now we're up to around September. So in September, I put out a video. It's a bog vlog. The title of the video is called Bog Vlog, now for something completely different or something like that. I'm not going to go into detail about my personal life, but that changed a lot of things for me. Some things happened, and I'm still dealing with stuff in my personal life, and things aren't going to be completely back to normal, back to the new normal, I should say, for several more months. So this is going to carry over into the new year quite a bit. But basically, what it boiled down to is I'm still looking for full-time work. I basically have given up on the notion that this can be my career, which is really sad because I worked almost 4 years trying to grow this into a business that could sustain myself long term. But I always knew that I was on borrowed time, and that if this didn't happen soon, if this didn't really start to blow up, there'd be a tough decision that I'd have to make. So that decision's been made. I need to get a full-time job. I've been looking really hard, but I've been a stay-at-home dad for 6 years. I used to manage call centers before that. I was really successful doing 12 years of call center management, but it's been hard to get back into it because there's a 6-year gap from that type of work, and I'm trying to get back into that. And it's not that I haven't been working. I've just been doing, hosting and videos and live streams and podcasts and writing articles and different things. And it's just a different, career altogether. So in 2015, I'm going to be, really trying to get that full-time work again. And, I've never stopped making videos since that announcement. I've put out probably 3 videos a week. Ever since that announcement. I don't think I've gone a week where I haven't put out a single video. And, so going from 5 to 6 videos a week down to 3 videos a week, it's certainly less, but it's not the end of the channel by any means. And in fact, I would like to continue making videos forever. And even if I have full-time work and my life gets super busy, I still plan at this point to put out as many videos as I can, and just have as much fun with it as I can, and I guess focus on it less being a business and more about going back to where it started. It's just a hobby, and it's something I like to do. I like being in front of a camera. I like being a goofball. I like making people laugh, and so these are the things I like to do. And so that shouldn't be stopping. But yeah, I am sad that I really wanted this to kind of just be my career. I wanted this to either take off to the point where just making content and streaming and all this different things became my source of income, or I wanted it to kind of lead to a job in the gaming industry, some way, shape, or form. Unfortunately, when I first fortunately, I don't know, unfortunately or fortunately, when I first started this, my intent was, yeah, I'll eventually move if I need to move. If I need to move to California, or I need to move to Seattle or Texas, where the game development studios are, then I'll do it. But part of the things that have been going on, I can't move anymore. I will be in New Jersey. So there's not a lot of game industry opportunities in New Jersey, unfortunately. I really wish there was, because I'd be all over it. So it does look like that I'm not going to be doing any kind of game-related stuff unless something just falls out of the sky in the very, very near future. So yeah, who knows where the career thing is going to go, but I'm going to be, hitting the ground running at the start of the new year, trying to get that full-time job again. So, all right, so what else? Let's talk about games I played in 2014. Okay, so you guys know about Guild Wars 2 and WildStar and Hearthstone. We talked about that a lot. And Hearthstone, by the way, if I was doing any kind of like top 10 or top 5 my games in 2014, and I don't do these type of lists because I don't play enough games. I don't have enough sample size. I might have played like 10 games of any significant moment. So those would all be in my top 10. But Hearthstone is my favorite game of 2014. I'm so addicted to this game. I really, really like it. Both of my kids play, so I'm constantly like doing arenas. All three of us, we take turns playing them. We help each other out. It's just super fun. And I don't know. There's just something. I used to love Magic. I used to do Magic tournaments when I was in college, and this is just more of that. So I love Hearthstone. That's my game of the year. But some other mentions. Banner Saga. Finally finished that game recently. I started streaming it early this year. That game is wicked awesome. I love the aesthetic of it. I love the music in it. I like that your choices really matter, and that you play it again and you're going to have an entirely different experience. I actually like that it's short. I was talking to my friend the other day, like I'm starting to feel like an older gamer. Like I like games that have like 5 to 10 hours of content in them, rather than like a single player experience like Skyrim that has like 50 plus hours of, because I just like, I mean, I enjoyed them, but I kind of want them to be over so I can check it off and get to my next game. I just have such a backlog of things. So yeah, Banner Saga, I love the tactical combat. I really like that kind of combat. I like turn-based strategy type combat like that. It reminds me of miniatures playing in Dungeons and Dragons. So Banner Saga, one of the best games of the year by far. I love Transistor as well. I never finished Transistor. It's on my list of things to go back to. I'll probably start over again because, again, I hear it's not a very long game. But that game just oozes atmosphere, and the music is insane. I love the soundtrack in Transistor. And, again, the combat. The combat and like the mechanics of how your skill tree system works, how you can kind of merge different skills together. It's so unique and refreshing, and just, it's like, how can you have a game that looks so pretty, sounds so pretty, has cool combat, and then just has the game mechanic aspect of it? It's just so well done. Like it's a perfect game. It's really, really well done. I definitely recommend if you haven't played it yet. A surprise game that I've been playing is Destiny. I got that for my birthday, I believe. My wife surprised me with that, and it's not a game I would normally play. It's, I like shooters every once in a while, but it's not the games that I normally gravitate towards. But I started playing it, and I thought it was pretty decent. And then my buddy just got an Xbox One for Christmas, and now we've been playing it together. And it's what everybody's told me before, is the game is much more fun with friends, and I agree. Now that I'm playing with a friend, it's like I started a new character, and we're already having a lot more fun in that. So I've been playing Destiny. Rogue Legacy I did a couple videos on this year. Started playing with my younger son. Love the throwback, kind of Castlevanian type style. I mean, it's a roguelike game where you kind of, death is one of the mechanics and you keep coming back and progressing. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I like that game quite a bit. I played that quite a few hours, and definitely something that I would recommend. You can pick it up for Steam, especially when it's on sale for just a couple bucks. It's fun game. I played Albion Online. I got into some early access thanks to a YouTube viewer who just messaged the company on my behalf and said, hey, this guy's a cool YouTuber and streamer I follow. Why don't you get him into early access? And I got an email out of nowhere. Never even heard of the game before. I got a founder pack from the developer. They said, hey, come in here. Here's a referral code. I have a referral code. People signing up and buying any kind of founder packs through my referral link, I get rewards for it, which is awesome. So I played it. It's an MMO. I think they're going to do another round of the alpha testing in January. I hope to be a part of. It's a very different type of MMO. It's got it's a lot of crafting and gathering. Like you don't really find like loot drops as much as you craft everything. And then you can build buildings that are permanently in the world, and you go out, and if you die, you lose all the stuff that's on your character, and there's a lot of PvP involved with it. So it's just a really different kind of style game. I have a couple videos if you guys are interested in looking at them. But yeah, I played that a bunch. And let's see, what else? Witcher 2. I've been... Witcher 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition. Let's talk about these together. These are these weighty, really awesome RPGs, but with like the 40 plus hours of commitment or 50 plus hours of commitment that go along with it. I started playing Witcher 2 a couple of times, but I finally a couple months ago said, I really want to play this game, and I loaded it up and I finished the whole chapter 1, which is about 33% of the game. Finished that, and then Dragon Age Inquisition came out, and I was like, oh, I got to play the new shiny. So I started playing Dragon Age Inquisition, and I got a couple hours into Dragon Age, and I said, you know what am I doing? I'm like a third of the way through Witcher 2. Let's not jump into another like meaty RPG. So I went back and I've been working on Witcher 2. I plan to finish it hopefully sometime soon, because I'm really excited to play Witcher 3 coming up this year. It's one of the things in 2015 I'm looking most forward to is Witcher 3. So I want to finish Witcher 2, then I'm going to go back into Dragon Age. I want to finish that up because I played the other two games, Dragon Age, really enjoyed them. So RPGs, I'm like really weighed down at the moment. And I guess the final game, I kind of hate to admit it, it's sitting right over there on my cell phone. Clash of Clans. My brother did this to me. I've never been much of a mobile gamer. In fact, the cell phone games, I've never found many that appeal to me at all. And I'm so looking forward to finally getting Hearthstone on my Android phone, which is not out yet, but hopefully this year we will get it. My brother said, oh, I'm playing Clash of Clans. I'm like, I won't like that. So I started playing it. It's so addicting. And I can't even say I fully love the game, but there is an aspect. I'm playing with my brother. I'm playing with my sister-in-law. We're in the same clan. My younger son started playing it, and he's trying to get into our clan. And I have another friend that's now trying to get into it. So the social aspect will keep me going in it. There's tons of people playing it. Like there's people, and it kind of makes me angry a little bit. I watched some YouTube channels that are dedicated to this game because I want some strategy tips and what am I doing kind of thing. Just noticed that they have like millions of subscribers, and they've been like their YouTube channel's like less than a year old. I'm like, oh, all you have to do is pick the game that's like the most popular and do all videos on that, and that seems to be a formula for success. But anyway, I digress. Those are the games that I've been playing mostly in 2014. What are some of your favorites? What are you looking forward to playing in 2015? 2015, I don't know a lot of the games that are coming out. Witcher 2 is definitely... Witcher 3 is definitely one of the ones I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the Minecraft story from Telltale Games. Oh, that reminds me, Telltale Games. Game of Thrones. I started doing a Let's Play series on that. I put that on the channel like a month or so ago. Super fun game. The views... Nobody's watching these videos. Just like my Walking Dead series, I get like 300 views on these videos. I don't know if I'm going to continue the whole thing. Telltale Games, I guess, is just people don't want to watch my Let's Play of that. That's fine. I'll just enjoy it by myself. That's fine. Still interested in not Landmark, EverQuest Next. Not the Landmark version of it. I'm looking for the RPG or the MMO proper of that game. I could see myself getting into that. I played the original EverQuest quite a bit. So I'm just excited to see where that goes. And yeah, so that's it. The channel is going to keep going the way it's been going the last few months. I'm going to be doing probably 3 videos a week around that, give or take. We'll see what happens once I get a full-time job, how that will impact things. My goal is to I got to do more Hearthstone videos. People seem to really like them. That's the game I really have a lot of fun with on a daily basis. Every single day I'm playing Hearthstone. I want to do more videos on that. I play a lot of Arena, and people don't seem to want to watch the Arena games as much as like the ranked mode constructed like deck guides, but so I'll try to do a mix of those. And I'm going to be doing a lot of Guild Wars videos again. We've got the season finale of Living Story Season 2 coming in January, so I'm going to be all over that. So those are a few of the games that I'm looking forward to in 2015. Which ones are catching your eye? Leave me a comment in the comment below. Let me know what you're looking forward to in 2015. What was your top game in 2014? Let me know that as well. So that's going to wrap things up. I just want to say one more time as my chair pops. Thank you so much to everybody who supported me throughout the years, especially everyone who supported me recently this year. I'm looking forward to 2015. I think it's going to be a good year for me. I'm hoping it's going to be a good year for me. And, not necessarily just relating to the YouTube channel, just in general. And I hope everybody has a fantastic year as well. Follow me in all the places. Follow me on Twitter. If you have a Twitter account, follow me on Facebook or Google+, whichever one is social media. I do a lot of interactions besides just, promoting my videos there. And it's a lot of fun, getting to go back and forth with different people and having a good time. Check out my Patreon page in the comments field below. See if there's any rewards that you're interested in that I'm not currently offering. Like maybe you would support, maybe you would pledge $1 or $2 a month if I was doing this. Let me know. Like, what would you like to see? I can update the rewards at any time. In fact, I'm thinking about doing a reward revamp sometime in 2015. So if you have any suggestions on that, let me know, because I would love to have more people in that community over there and help support my channel going forward. So that's going to wrap things up. Happy New Year, and I hope everybody has a fantastic day. I'm a cotton-headed Eddie Muggins.